Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be finding out what a tarot reader would tell your person about you. So your person is anybody you have on your mind, whether that be a romantic connection or a platonic connection, it doesn't matter. I will provide interpretations for various situations, but when you're watching this reading, I want you to basically pretend that you are them. So you are going to be watching this in their shoes, and I am talking to them about you. I'll go a little bit more into what this reading is going to cover once you've chosen your group. So for now, let's look at your options. There are 3 readings to choose from today. Each group has a different crystal, and in each group, I'm also going to be using a different tarot and oracle deck combination. So I'm going to show you the crystals and the decks up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. For my group number 1s, we have Angel Aura Rose Quartz, and we're going to be using the Zeke's Arcana Tarot and the Song of Gaia Oracle. For my group number 2s, we have this clear quartz mushroom, and we're going to be using the Flower Child Tarot and the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And for my group number 3s, we have this Pyrite cat, and we're going to be using the Lucid Dreams Beginner's Tarot and the Wild Muse Oracle. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Angel Aura Rose Quartz Heart, as well as the Zeke's Arcana Tarot and the Song of Gaia Oracle, this is going to be your reading. So I have the breakdown of the reading right here. We have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. Here on YouTube, I'm going to be talking to you as if you are your person. So listen to this reading from the perspective of your person, because we are seeing what a reader would tell them about you. I will tell them about the main energies of your connection, your dynamic, and your feelings for each other, and I'll be giving them advice for how they can move forward within this connection. Then once we get into the extended, I will switch back to talking to you, and we are going to see how would your person have reacted to this reading. What specific questions would they want to ask a reader about you or about your connection? And then we're also going to see what their next move towards you will be, and we will get some predictions for the short-term future and the long-term future of your connection. And we will be getting some hints as to when this short-term future and long-term future are. However, if you happen to have a specific time frame that you want to know about, you can absolutely set the intention to hear about what's going to happen during that specific time frame. So I'll leave that up to you. This extended reading will be available from the links down below. It's available on a few different platforms, and there's options for both a one-time purchase as well as a monthly membership, which gives you access to all of the extendeds. If you are considering a membership option, I just ask that you carefully read the description of the different levels so you know exactly what you're getting. But I'm super grateful to everybody who considers that option, and I'm very, very grateful to everyone who's here watching this right now. Thank you so much for being here, and now I am done talking to you, group number 1, and I'm going to start talking to your person. So take a moment, put yourself in your person's mind. You are now your person. Hi, group number 1's person. My name's Kino. We're gonna get into your reading now. So I'm gonna start with the tarot. And we are going to pull a card to represent you. We have the 7 of Cups, a card to represent them, the Knight of Swords, and a card to represent the energy between the two of you. We have the Seven of Wands. We'll look at the bottom of the deck card in a second, but I just want to focus on these for the moment. So, it is quite likely that you are heavily on their mind. Seems like they daydream about you frequently, and more specifically, they like to daydream about potential future scenarios. There seems to be some element of mystery when it comes to their perception of you. So this could be literal, like they see you as a mysterious person, or maybe they just feel like there's still a lot that they have yet to uncover about you. This could also be a message that they perceive your future as a mystery. They don't really know what the future holds, but I don't necessarily get the sense that this uncertainty is something that makes them uneasy. In fact, if anything, they might enjoy to daydream about the different potentials. Like, what could this become? What could we become? It does seem like they're still in the process of figuring out your true feelings and intentions towards them. In some cases, they might feel like you are hiding that from them. Maybe this is just for a few of you, but I am picking up on some energy, like they might think that you are intentionally being mysterious or still kind of intentionally holding some things back. It seems like in some way they feel like they haven't really been able to, I think pin you down is the expression, and be like, oh, this is who they are. This is how they're feeling. This is what they want from me, or this is what they intend to do with me. That's still kind of a mystery. But again, I don't get the sense that they're fearful that whatever unknowns they uncover are going to be something bad. It's just like, ooh, mystery. I wonder what's going to happen. I want to peel back the layers of this connection more. I just heard something like they perceive you as holding some kind of key. Key to what? I don't know. A key to happiness, a key to success, a key to spiritual awakening. You are concealing some mysterious key, and they want to access this key. They want to access the deeper layers of you. I'm also hearing they want to be in your circle, or maybe they want to be in a more closer, immediate, or intimate circle in your life. You may give off a kind of watery vibe to them. So perhaps you are a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. This card is actually associated with Venus in Scorpio, which is like super specific, but if you do have that placement, that could be a confirmation. Maybe they have this placement, but I think they would say that no matter how the future with you turns out, it's probably going to be good. I feel like the way they see it, it's like we either have a beautiful future together or we don't have much of a future together, but it's like they can't see things going bad or going sour with you. They don't expect to find anything bad in these cups. It's like either we're going to go forward and it's going to be really happy and awesome, or maybe things will kind of fizzle out. But I think they want to build something strong with you. I just noticed, it took me a while to notice, but both of these cards are 7. The number 7 could be significant somehow. I'm thinking of lucky number 7, things like life path 7, 7-year age gap, the 7th of a month or the month of July could be significant. 7 personally makes me think of perfection as well, like perfecting something, and also tests, like trials and tests that we go through to improve ourselves. So it is quite likely that you make them want to improve, and you may bring out some kind of perfectionist tendencies in them. And there's also a message coming through that they will kind of work harder when they know you're watching, or they will put in more effort when they know that you are aware of what they're doing. They kind of become more concerned with putting their best face forward. They're less likely to cut corners when you're around. So it seems like you do have a good influence on them and their growth. But what I was going to say with the Seven of Wands is that this is just my personal interpretation of this card, but in a connection, it can indicate to me two people who have similar souls, but their 3D avatars are quite different, or like their human circumstances are quite different. So things that I would sometimes see with the Seven of Wands is like having a significant age gap, or coming from very different backgrounds. Like maybe you come from different countries, or you were raised very differently, or I feel like I was going to say something else and I can't remember now, but you know, things like a language barrier. Oh, what I was going to say was a different social standing. I sometimes see that with the Seven of Wands, and I do feel like whatever perceived gaps they feel between you, especially like 3D circumstances, they want to bridge those gaps, and they are willing to take that upon themselves. I feel like they're more in an energy of like, I'm willing to meet you where you are, and not really expecting you to meet them. Yeah, they're more willing to, it's like where you are just so happens to align with where they want to be in life. So it makes more sense for them to meet you where you are, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then we have the Knight of Swords. So it does seem, I think I already said this, but it does seem like you are on their mind. I just looked up and saw 10:06, and that the date of October 6th, aka 10/6, is fresh in my mind because there was a full moon in Aries on that day, and I just like really remember that. Maybe that's significant to someone. But yeah, I think they may not know necessarily what's going to unfold between the two of you, but I do get the sense that they're anxious to find out, and they want it to happen quickly. I would also bet that you perceive them as someone who is quite intelligent, quite skilled. I'm hearing like they know what they're doing, or they have a knack for something. So maybe you just perceive them as very intelligent overall, or there might be a specific area or a specific skill that you admire in them. It's like they're clever, or they're quick-witted, or they have a sharp mind. Something like that. I think that's how you see them. You probably also see them as adaptable. You've probably witnessed them thriving in environments that are difficult to thrive in, or thriving outside of their comfort zone. I'm also getting the sense you admire how they handle like stress, or how they handle pressure, or how they handle nerves, or something like that. And it does seem like you trust them and you believe in them. So shall we, yeah, let's get some oracle cards, and then we'll look at this bottom of the deck card. There is something coming through, like you maybe want to see them come out of their shell more and explore more. I think you pick up from them this trait of adaptability and versatility and diversity. But in order to start exploring your versatile side, you kind of need to have a bit of courage. That's how it's coming through. So you might sometimes feel like they play it safe and kind of give the same thing over and over again, or they're kind of coloring within the lines, and you want to see them adventure more. You want to see them go outside the box more, because you know that they can do it. So maybe you're sensing a little bit of untapped potential in them. I think that they think about you more than you realize. You probably perceive them as they're not really paying attention to you so much. They got their own thing going on. And yes, they do have their own thing going on, but they can multitask. They can do their own thing and think about you at the same time. Fixed signs are coming through. So that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Woo! That deck just made a very loud noise. All right. Let's get some oracle cards to look more at the energies and the dynamics. We have Volcano. Volatile energies, channel carefully. Okay, this is interesting. There could be some friction between the two of you, but the way it's coming through is that this friction would only appear if you were getting closer on a personal level. Okay, there's a couple examples coming to my mind. One is friends or a couple, and they get along really, really well until they go on a trip together. Or they get along really, really well until they move in together. It's like the closer your quarters are, then you will start to feel some friction. The other example I thought of is two coworkers who work really, really well together until they share a collaboration, until they become a duo and work on a project together. The more closely linked you become, some areas of friction or conflict will appear. And I think it either has to do with like your creative vision, if it's that kind of connection, or your approach to solving problems, or the way you like to plan for things. And this friction will come from someone feeling insecure or feeling out of control. Yeah, it's like you have different visions, or maybe there's one of you who likes to really plan things and one of you who more likes to wing things. So, imagine if those two personalities were planning like a 3-week trip together and one person wants a detailed itinerary and one other person is like the type who packs on the morning of. That's kind of the vibe. So maybe this is already part of your dynamic, or it will be in the future, where you are planning something together or working on something together. And then these things kind of come up. I also think there's one or both of you, like the more passionate you are about something, the more controlling you could get, or the more particular you could get. I guess I'm imagining like a creative or someone who's really passionate about what they do, and then they have a really, really, really specific vision. And if that vision gets threatened, they could get a little bit fiery. Also, with this difference in, I'm thinking about me and my fiance. That's the first time I've said that. But we had some of this friction in the beginning of our relationship because of cultural differences, and so the way we addressed conflict was different. And then we'd be like, why can't you understand me? So it happens, especially when you start to get closer. I'm thinking of, it's like when you have such a close relationship with someone that you can openly talk about their flaws because you know that it's all love. I'm imagining, and again, this could be romantic or not romantic, but I'm imagining something like best friends or siblings, where you can just say like, oh, they're annoying, or like they're always doing this. And this, you're mentioning their flaws, but it doesn't feel like a jab because you know that you love each other, or you know that you care about each other very deeply. And so I feel like on the other side of this friction, there's the potential to have that kind of closeness. We have, does that say nature? Yes. Let nature be your teacher and your healer. So ultimately, this connection will help both of you to be your natural self. And I feel like that's really beautiful message to follow what we were just talking about, because you're realizing that your, quote unquote, desirable traits make you lovable, but also your imperfections make you lovable. And your flaws or shortcomings make you lovable too. And I love you, or I care about you, I like you, because of all of those things that make you you. And, I want to say the key again, I think it's a key to success. The key to success is not about changing aspects of yourself. It's about learning how to bring your aspects forward and use them to your advantage. Because every trait about a person, there's pros and cons. So you just have to find out the pros of your different traits and bring out those pros. You help each other really polish yourselves and learn how to use all of your unique traits to your advantage rather than trying to change yourself. You could be either becoming successful together, or just the influence you have on each other really helps you on your individual journeys to success. Also, these blue butterflies are reminding me of the butterfly emoji, so maybe look out for that emoji. It could be significant. And as I was holding that up too, the camera timer was at exactly 20 minutes, like 2000. So then I was thinking about the year 2000 and the 2000s. So like 2000s style could be significant, or some kind of nostalgia involving the 2000s. Maybe some people watching are born in 2000. Wouldn't that be cool if your birthday is like July 7, 2000? Because we have like 7/7 here. Also, the V from volcano and the N from nature, VN, just made me think of voice note. Sure, maybe you send each other voice notes. And we have, okay, magic mushroom. Are you doing that together? I don't know. It's all connected. The magic of the present moment. Okay. I'm thinking about how mushrooms have, is it like their network of roots that they can talk to each other? So maybe you and this person have some kind of, I don't know if I'd call it telepathy. I mean, take it if it resonates, but I think once you overcome your differences and kind of learn to speak each other's language, literally or figuratively, I think your souls actually communicate really well, and you can start executing things together very smoothly once you overcome the bumps in the road. Yeah, this is what it is. It's like your souls communicate really smoothly. Your souls speak each other's language. Very effective communicators. Your human avatars have some differences between them that make them bump heads sometimes. But then once you get over that hurdle, it's like you can read each other's minds and you work together very smoothly. And the magic of the present moment with nature. Maybe you have sort of a grounding influence on them, or they have a grounding influence on you. I'm picking up something about you helping to ease each other's nerves and sort of alleviate pressures to meet certain standards or alleviate pressures to achieve certain things. It's kind of like the important thing is that we're together. The important thing is that we're learning. The important thing is that we're having fun. You know, whatever the outcome is of what we're working towards, it's kind of secondary. I'm just enjoying the moment so much with you that alleviates pressure from the final outcome. Okay, so finally, let's look at the bottom of the deck card. We have the Eight of Swords, and this indicates your feelings for each other. So it does seem like, that's funny. I feel like they they called it, because at the beginning of the reading, I said they kind of perceive you as intentionally holding back. And now I feel like maybe you are. This gives me the vibe. Are you kind of watching them from afar? Are you kind of checking on them from afar? You are checking on their energy. You could be looking at their social media or kind of trying to find out about them from mutual people or something like that. They don't have to do that because they can just read your energy. You're dealing with a psychic baddie, so they can check on your energy without leaving traces of it. But yeah, kind of the more I sit with this energy, it could be that both of you are holding back. Let's roll. What dice do I want to use? I want to use... Let's get the glittery ones. Yeah. The year of 2024 could be significant. Maybe you met in 2024. We have, look at this, 8. So we have 7, 7, 8, 8. We have the sign of Virgo, and we have the North Node. Someone could be an Aquarius rising. Someone could have their North or South Node in the 8th house and 2nd house. Don't have to, but that could be an extra confirmation for someone. Someone could also have Jupiter in Gemini or Jupiter in Virgo or Jupiter in the 8th house. This is a lot of stuff. I feel like, okay, you help each other reach your highest potential, and you help each other embody your calling in this lifetime, but not in like a super fun romantic way. In fact, you come into each other's lives when you're ready to take a look within and sort of, I want to say nitpick, which I know often has a negative connotation, but sort of nitpicking at your own shortcomings. It's not just like, I'm coming into your life to show you your destiny and it's going to be very beautiful. Like, yes, it's going to be beautiful, but it feels more like, hey, I'm coming to remind you what your calling is, and these are all of the reasons that you're not doing a good job at reaching it. This is not me saying you're not doing a good job, but it's like, these are all the things that you could be doing better. That's how I'll put it. Maybe there's something about the way you word things to them or the way they word things to you that kind of rubs you the wrong way, even though the content of the message is something you really need and something that comes from love. Because this is like Gemini energy too. We have 2 Mercury energies here. So the way things are worded sometimes could, I'm hearing the word like abrasive. It could just come off the wrong way sometimes. Like just now, where saying this is what you're doing wrong was not a very good way to say it, and it should have been more like, this is where you can improve, or this is how you could reach your potential more smoothly. This is how you could reach your potential faster, in a more impactful way, you know, more constructive. But yeah, that's how you activate each other's destiny. It's by analyzing what you could do better and where you may be falling short from reaching your true potential, which honestly is really, really valuable. And you wouldn't be going to the effort of analyzing that unless you really cared and wanted to see each other succeed. So again, like once you get over that initial discomfort and learn how to speak each other's language, learn how to convey the messages in a way that lands well to the other person, then you are going to be unstoppable together. Okay, so finally, let's get some advice for you how you can move forward in this connection. We have Bear. Okay, so they may be wanting you to they may be wanting you to take the lead more, to make the first move toward them, or as an archetype, in some way, they could be looking to you to be a leader or a guide to them, whether that's in general or in a particular area of their life with a particular goal that they have. I think they want your guidance and want you to lead more. I think, and this goes back to the message of they do a better job when they know you're watching. So it does seem like they really do value your opinions and value your input. And I do think they would like you to have a more active role in their life. I heard invite me to more things. So maybe they want you to invite them somewhere, or they want you to include them in more things that you have going on. So being the one to make the first move more often, making a bit more of an effort to include them in stuff. And I know you're watching. I know you're watching them. I know you're checking on them. Say something. I'm thinking of, there's a song I've been listening to, and there's this voice in it. I swear it sounds like Countess Luann, but I don't know if it's her. And she's going, "What you gonna do? You're gonna come closer? You're gonna stare forever? Do you want to get to know me?" So maybe that's them talking to you. Like, are you just gonna keep watching me, or are you gonna say something? Don't be shy. They want you to come towards them. Okay, we also have Strength, and I'm noticing the mirroring numbers that we have here, 1551. That could be significant to someone. I also just saw 3030. I'm gonna see if I can translate this on the fly. It's gonna be kind of rough, but true unshakable strength is when you are not influenced by your surroundings, or when you're not influenced by others, and you remain loyal to your beliefs and live boldly. And when you are living like that, you're truly in your power, essentially. So, I would say, honestly, I would give this advice to both of you. Remain grounded in your vision and believe in yourself. It's one thing to take inspiration from external energies or take inspiration from others, but it's a fine line between that and changing who you are or changing your approach because you think whatever exists outside of you is setting a standard for you. Whatever's outside of you is not a standard for you. It's just something that you can reference if you want. And you can ignore if you want. Maybe when you're together, and I wonder if that's where some of the friction comes from. Because it's like, I want to be more like you, but I can't be. And that makes me frustrated. So I'm going to take it out on you. But you don't have to be like each other. You can just be more yourself. And then finally we have Magician. Okay, so that's twice that something about magic is coming up. So I definitely think you create magic when you're together. Maybe something feels magical when you're together, or you might get sort of a magical vibe from them. I'm just looking at this image with the wings. Maybe there's something kind of fairy-like or something ethereal about them. And I also feel with the magician here, maybe you have a desire to make their wishes come true. And I think, I don't know if you're doing this together or separately, but I just see you're in each other's lives and you are, okay, I just heard like crushing personal records. Sure, you're crushing your own personal records and achieving significant milestones kind of alongside each other. Whether you're directly doing it together or just kind of watching and cheering each other on, you're gonna see each other accomplish some great milestones. So I think my advice to you is believe in magic, believe in your power, and the advice from them would be don't be afraid to take the lead a little bit more. And you can insert yourself in my life a bit more. I think they would say that to you. Okay, goodbye, Group 1's person. And now I am talking to you again, Group 1. So in the extended, that's going to be talking to you as well. And we're going to see how would your person have reacted to this whole reading? What specific questions would they want to ask about you or about the connection? And we're going to see what their next move towards you will be. And also get predictions for the short term and the long term future. So if that sounds good to you, I will have the extended link down below. You can meet me on whatever platform you like to meet me on. I will be there. If you want to leave the reading here, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have a link down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up on this channel. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings there. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 2s. So if you guys chose the clear quartz mushroom, as well as the flower child tarot and the oracle of the radiant sun, this is going to be a reading. Yumi says hi, by the way. She wanted to come up on the chair for your group. So she is sitting right behind me on the chair. All right, so here is the breakdown of today's reading. We have the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. And for this reading here on YouTube, I am going to be talking to your person. So like I mentioned in the intro, when you are watching this reading, basically you are watching it as if you are them. I'm doing the reading for them and I'm telling them about you. I will tell them about the main energies of this connection, your dynamic, your feelings for each other, and I'll also give them some advice for how they can move forward within this connection. Then in the extended, we're going to go back to talking to you, and we're going to see how would your person have reacted to this whole reading. I just saw 111, by the way. What specific questions would your person ask about you or about the connection? Their next move towards you, and we're also going to look at predictions for the short term and the long term future. And we will be getting some hints as to when this short term and long term future are. But if you do happen to have a specific time frame that you want to know about, you are of course welcome to set the intention to hear about that specific time frame. So I'll leave that up to you. And the extended is going to be available on a few different platforms, so you can choose whichever one works best for you. And there are options for both a one-time purchase, so just this reading, or a monthly membership, which gives you access to all of the extendeds. If you are considering the membership option, I just ask that you carefully read the description of the different membership levels so you know exactly what you're getting. But I'm super grateful to everyone who considers that option, and I'm very, very grateful to everyone who's here watching this right now. So thank you so much for being here. And now let's get into your reading. So I am done addressing group number 2. And I will now be addressing your person. So put yourself in the mind of your person. You are becoming them. You are hearing this reading about them. Okay. So, hi, group number 2's person. How are you? It's a beautiful day over here. I hope it's nice wherever you are. So we are going to start with the Flower Child Tarot. I'm going to pull a card to represent you. We have the 9 of Cups, a card to represent them. We have the 9 of Pentacles and 333 as I'm holding up this card. Also, I just noticed that both of these are 9s. So we just got 2 9s and then we got a 333. And we're not that far into your reading. That's the 3rd time that I'm seeing repeating numbers. So I wonder if you've been seeing repeating numbers a lot, or perhaps you've been seeing signs and synchronicities pertaining to them recently. Let's pull one more card to describe the energy between the two of you. We have the 3 of Pentacles. We are also going to look at the bottom of the deck energy, but we'll do that a little bit later. I want to focus on the main dynamics here right now. So you are coming through as the 9 of Cups. You could have strong Piscean energy, or you could have like dominant Jupiter energy. Off the top of my head, if you have, because this is Jupiter in Pisces, you could be born in 1998 or 1986, roughly. You don't have to be, but that could be an extra confirmation for some of you. What I would say with your energy coming through as the 9 of Cups is that you seem to be quite happy and satisfied with the way things are in this connection. And in general, I feel like this is someone who does make you very happy. In some ways, them being in your life could be like a wish come true. So before you met them, I would guess that you were wishing for someone like them to come into your life. And then when they did enter your life, I would guess that you were wishing to get closer to them, maybe admiring them from afar. So when you started to build up this connection and this relationship with them, it seems like that was a wish that came true for you. You may have manifested them, you may have prayed for them, asked a higher power for them to come into your life, or someone like them to come into your life. And now that you have this connection with them, it does seem like you are quite satisfied with the way things are going. There may be something about the external circumstances that if you sit with it, you feel a bit sad. So for example, maybe you're far away from them right now, or you don't get to see them or talk to them as much as you would like. Or maybe there's some times where you wonder if you used to be closer in the past. But it seems like right now you're trying not to focus on those aspects, which leads me to believe that it's probably something out of your control, whatever's kind of disappointing you. So again, something like physical distance, or not getting to see each other and it's kind of out of your control. Because if it were in your control, it doesn't really make sense that you would be avoiding focusing on it. So maybe that's a little piece of advice for you. If there is something in this connection you wish were different, especially if it's like, I wish we saw each other more frequently, I wish we were closer, and it's something in your control, maybe don't ignore that. Maybe look at that so you can address it and you can have a better connection and a better bond with this person. But yeah, if it's something out of your control, it does seem like you're just trying to focus on the positive, which is that you have each other, you're in each other's lives, and it seems like you do get along quite well. We have their energy coming through as the 9 of Pentacles. So I want to say that at this time, they're really flourishing in the material world. So it could be that they're really advancing in their career, that they're making some very impressive achievements right now. It also seems like you are feeling like they're getting more beautiful or they're getting more radiant. They've been glowing recently. When you look at them, I think you see someone who's thriving. You see someone who's doing well. You see someone who's impressive. It seems like you admire them and you're proud of them. You're proud of them. You're proud to be in their life. I would bet you talk about them very positively, even when they're not around. Actually, I am getting the vibe that you talk about them quite a bit, like just to people in your life, you know, I have this friend, or I have this person, and they're doing all these cool things. They're so cool. They're so awesome. Oh, it seems like you do brag about them quite a bit. And I want you to know that they think about you a lot, and you actually give them strength to keep working hard. And I think they would be really happy to know that you see their achievements, that you see their progress. I think they would be really happy to know you see that they're glowing, because I think they also feel it too. You notice that they're glowing more, and they also feel like they're glowing from the inside out. I bet that they have been working on their confidence, and maybe they're the most confident that they've been in a long time or ever. And just the fact that others notice that, I think would make them happy. But the fact that you specifically notice that, and the fact that you talk about them positively and talk about them when they're not around, I think that would make them really happy. And I think that whenever they reach a milestone or whenever they achieve something, they have this thought of like, they can't wait to share that with you. Or they really hope that they can make you proud. And it does seem like you are very proud of them. I'm just getting the sweetest vibes from this energy. In the middle, we have the 3 of Pentacles. So it does seem like you are both on the same page about where you want this connection to head. I think both of you envision this connection being in your future. In fact, it's probably kind of difficult to imagine it any other way. It's hard to imagine a life or a future without them, and it's hard for them to imagine their life or their future without you. And with the 3 of Pentacles here, it does seem like you both actively make plans involving each other. So you're working them into your future plans. They're working you into their future plans. You may even sort of make your long-term plans and decisions around each other or considering each other. Definitely envisioning what you'll do together in the future. It seems like you're both putting effort into the connection, or you're both willing to put effort into the connection. If I interpret the 3 of Pentacles really literally, it could talk about a work relationship, a business partnership, a collaboration. So it could be that kind of connection. But if I interpret it in a broader way, I think it's talking about the effort that you both put in to keep this connection going. And something that I'm picking up too is that neither of you seem to take this connection for granted. So it's like, yes, you know deep down they're always going to be there. They know deep down you're always going to be there. But that doesn't mean you just get comfortable and stop making effort. Like, for example, oh, they're they're my best friend, like we've been friends forever, they're not going anywhere, and then you stop like making effort. Or, oh, they're my family, they're always going to be there. Oh, we're married, like we're locked in, whatever it is, right? Even though you know deep down we're not going anywhere, the way I want to put it is like you still show up and make effort to what I heard is you still show up and make effort as if you could lose them. I don't know if that's my favorite wording of it, but you're putting effort because you want to, because it makes you happy. It makes you happy to lift each other up. It makes you happy to nurture and tend to the connection. Like, of course you would. And no external circumstances are going to change that. Even if you were a million miles apart, you're still going to show up. Let's look at some oracle cards. And see what else we can uncover about your dynamics or the energies between you. We have loss and we have Saturn in the 12th house. So this seems like, because the 12th house can talk about, actually it's Saturn in Pisces, but the number 12 here made me think of the 12th house. And Pisces is related to the 12th house anyway, so it makes sense. Wow, and Saturn in Pisces is related to the 8 of Cups. So this feels like a subconscious fear of loss that either comes from past experiences or it could even come from a past life. I don't know if you resonate with this, but some of you may have had a past life with them. And so, yeah, because this feels like an irrational fear, but it's not actually irrational. It's coming from something in the past. It's not just coming from thin air, this fear. You know deep down that they're loyal and they're not going anywhere, but somehow it seems like you have a quote unquote irrational fear of losing them. It's possible that in your past, you have been suddenly cut off by someone. For example, being suddenly broken up with and being like completely blindsided by it, or someone you thought was your best friend suddenly disappearing, suddenly ghosting you, suddenly starting to exclude you from things, and it's like you have no idea why it's happening. And when I sit in this energy, I feel a mix of confusion and pain. And maybe never even got closure about that experience. In the end, you never really found out why it happened. So that's one interpretation of this. And then even when you have them in your life now where, you know, they're trustworthy, they're loyal, they're not going anywhere, you feel that lingering, yeah, but what if they suddenly disappear? What if they suddenly like don't care anymore or something like that? And this could also come from a past life that you actually had with them. So there was maybe a past life experience that you had where some circumstances tore you apart. You were I just heard separated like in an untimely way, which I don't really know what that means, but I'm seeing someone or something else pulling you apart in a past life, and you always wanted to find each other again, but maybe ultimately you never did. This is just going to be for a few of you, especially like if what I'm saying here is pulling on some heartstrings or it's hitting in an emotional way, that would be a strong sign that you've had a past life experience like this or something similar. And especially if you find yourself, I keep wanting to use the word irrational because that's probably how it feels. There's nothing in the way they talk to you or in the way they treat you that would make you think they're pulling away or you're going to lose them or they're going to be taken away from you, but you can't help but worry about that. That's the feeling that I'm getting, like you're afraid to lose them. We also have innovation, Jupiter in Aquarius. So this could sometimes, I don't want to say put a strain on the connection. I don't think that's what it is, because I do see your relationship with them as healthy and strong. But sometimes this could hinder you from getting your needs met. Because what I'm seeing is that sometimes in this connection, you could force optimism when you don't actually feel optimistic, or you could try to emotionally detach from your needs or emotionally detach from certain concerns or dissatisfactions that you may be feeling because you don't want to do or say the slightest wrong thing that could make them pull away. So a couple examples of this energy is like, if you didn't hear from them for a while, you might not be so inclined to speak up about that and say like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while, like, and that makes me sad, like I'm missing you. I wish we could check in with each other more. You might not say that because you're like, well, what if that upsets them? I should just give them grace. I should just give them space. It might cause you to not bring things up and force yourself to like look at the bright side and focus on the positive when really there's something real that could be addressed. And then I feel like it kind of has the opposite effect you want it to, because if they're not reaching out and then you're not reaching out because you're like, I don't want to make a thing about it, then they're also on the other side being like, my person's not reaching out to me. So it's like, I hope I'm explaining this well, but I'm getting this sense that sometimes you pull away and that's you trying to be optimistic. That's you trying to be like, everything's okay, nothing needs to be addressed, nothing needs to be brought up. And then there's situations where you could be telling them like, hey, I miss you. Hey, I wish we were closer, but you're not. You just want to act like everything is okay because you feel like if you address something, then it's going to come across as like a confrontation and then they're going to pull away from you. And so in an attempt to not lose them, you are actually making yourself drift away from them, if that makes sense. And then they might be on the other side being like, well, what the heck? Like, why are you drifting away? Let's get one more oracle card. Interesting how the numbers are counting down. 12, 11, 10. Achievement with the sun in Capricorn. Sun in Capricorn, that's associated with the Four of Pentacles, which when I see that in a reading, I'm like, oh, this connection is not going anywhere. I think you've found a very long-term connection with this person, perhaps even a forever one, if that's not too bold of me to say, but definitely very long term. And this also seems to confirm that they are really thriving right now. And I feel like you're very proud of them. And I wonder if sometimes you even feel like, I'm not going to reach out because they're thriving. They have so much going on right now. Like, I don't want to bother them. That might be a little bit irrational, if I'm being honest. If you have this belief of, oh, I don't want to intrude, I don't want to bother them, it's like, what? Because you are like the person they want to hear from. And you reaching out would never be a bother to them. Like, they will always make time for you. They will always make space for you. And them thriving and them being available for you, those are not mutually exclusive things. In fact, I feel like the more they thrive, the more they think about you. The more they thrive, the more they want to share that with you. The more they thrive, the more they feel grateful for you and their relationship. So it doesn't make sense for you to be pulling away because you think like, oh, they must not have time. No, they always have time. They always have time for you. Let's look at the bottom of the deck energy. We have the Three of Wands. This is making me think of physical distance for sure. This froggy looking over over on the horizon, waiting for the ships to come in. You could be at a physical distance, or it's been a long time since you've seen each other. I'm also noticing, like, look at how these numbers are repeating, 9393. The year 1993 could be significant, or the age 39. March 9th or September 3rd could be significant dates as well. And I also just saw 2222. So there's a ton of repeating numbers for this group. That was definitely not happening so much in group 1. But the repeating numbers are, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. What was I saying? Now I'm thinking about Shrek. Lots of angel numbers, lots of repeating numbers. I would bet that you do frequently see signs that remind you of them, that, you know, there might be little synchronicities happening around you when you think of them. So you're thinking about each other. I think when that kind of thing happens, it's a sign that you're thinking about each other. This froggy just pondering. I think both of you, because this card will represent your feelings for each other, both of you do wonder what the future holds for you. I think you're both optimistic about it, but also kind of wondering how, like, where your individual futures take you and how that relates to your future together, how that impacts your future together. Okay, I want to roll some dice too. We also have Sagittarius, we have the South Node. Okay, yeah, so we were talking about the possibility of a past life connection, and now we have the South Node here. So for me, like, this Saturn energy and this South Node energy are really giving the feeling of a past life connection. And then we also have Sagittarius, which gives me the feeling of optimism. I think there's a lot of optimism in this reading, and that's a beautiful thing. But I think we need to be mindful of when optimism is genuine and when it's being used to sweep something under the rug. You know, it's possible for you to be happy and optimistic about this connection, but also be vocal and be open about things you wish there were more of between the two of you, or things you wish there were less of between the two of you, or just things you wish were different. That doesn't cancel out your happiness and satisfaction, and that doesn't cancel out your optimism for the future. And I also, maybe this is kind of different topic now, but I get the sense that both of you are very strong, like, individuals. You have a strong sense of individuality. You tend to do your own thing, march to the beat of your own drum, and probably both of you have a pretty strong vision for the futures you want individually. And maybe sometimes there's a bit of concern or just a bit of curiosity of, like, how are we going to work in our shared future into our individual plans. I know we're going to find a way to do it, because not being in each other's lives isn't an option. Like, that's just not going to happen. But how? But how are we going to do that? I guess we just both have to be really rich. So this is probably a long distance situation, or there's strong signs that you're going to end up being at a distance from each other. So for example, maybe now you both live in the same city, but one of you is getting a job overseas, or one of you is like marrying someone overseas, or one of you just has always dreamed of living in a certain part of the world, and you know you're going to end up moving away. Because then I'm thinking of people being like, well, I guess we're just gonna have to become really rich so that we can travel to see each other like 3 times a year or something like that. This isn't a worry of, are we gonna be in each other's future? It's just like a, what is that gonna look like? How are we gonna make that work? And I'm excited to see how we make it work because I know we're going to. What I can definitely say from this energy is I feel such a strong certainty from both of you, like we're gonna be in each other's lives. It's kind of non-negotiable. I don't know what to tell you. It's just gonna be that way. So these final cards are going to be advice for you as you move forward in this connection. So we have a garden. I'm going to be so honest with you. I'm not super familiar with the Lenormand cards, but garden to me feels like a sanctuary. It feels like something that you tend to and something that you nurture. So I do think that this connection can be and is and always will be like a safe place for you. I think you can always show up to this connection exactly as you are, no matter what kind of mood you're in, no matter what your energy levels are like, and no matter what season you're at in your life. Whether you feel like you're on a roll, whether you feel like you're in a rut, whatever it is, you can show up in this connection exactly as you are, and they will care for you just the same. Gardens are a beautiful sanctuary, but you also have to tend to them. You have to take care of them, and you have to weed out the things that you don't want there. And to make a garden analogy, I did kind of feel like sometimes in this connection, there's weeds growing in your garden, but instead of addressing them and pulling them out, you are like, oh, well, let's just focus on the beautiful trees that we do have. But focusing on the beautiful trees doesn't stop the weeds from growing. And if you're just using the optimism to sweep things under the rug, before you know it, the garden's going to be overrun with weeds. So I think there is a piece of advice to be more vocal about the things you're not so happy with, because honestly, I feel like it's going to make them happy, because everything you want to address is just proof that you care about them and want them in your life. Like, the only reason you would be upset or the only reason you would be dissatisfied is because you want to feel more connected to them. You want to be closer to them. You want more of them in your life. So that's, I remember this is like years ago, but I was dating someone and they were moving far away, and I was really sad about it. And then every time I brought up that I was sad, they would just be like, well, I don't know if they were trying to do some spiritual bypassing or if they were trying to cheer me up, but it did not land well with me. They were like, well, life is like a river and we're just flowing or something like that. And I was like, can you just be sad and miss me? Like, can we just acknowledge that this situation is shitty? And then we can do the whole silver lining thing. So, yes, saying I'm sad, that's a quote unquote negative emotion, but it implies I'm sad because I want to be with you. And that's a happy thing, if that makes sense. So there's nothing you could bring up that would upset them. In fact, I think they would be really, really happy that you're bringing it up, because they'll see it as an opportunity for you to get closer and strengthen your bond. We also have laughter. That's beautiful. So I'm going to just try to translate this very roughly, but it says, when you laugh from your heart, you attract happiness. And no matter what happens, no matter what happens, you can deal with it in a lighthearted way with a smile and laughter. Oh my God, that's such a perfect message. Because it's like, you don't have to choose between optimism and addressing problems. You can face the problems head on in an optimistic way. You can meet your problems with a smile, with laughter, with lightheartedness, because you already know that you're going to overcome them. Sharing more laughter or sharing more lighthearted moments with them could also be a piece of advice, whether that's talking about old funny memories or maybe some inside jokes you have, sending them memes, sending them funny things that remind you of them. You know, sharing laughter that will bring you closer together. And we literally, lightness. Laughter and lightness. Exactly. Addressing dissatisfactions doesn't have to feel deep and heavy and sad. It doesn't have to. Nothing wrong with deep and heavy and sad when you need to be in that energy. There's a time and place for that. But it kind of seems like you're shying away from addressing issues or addressing ways the connection could improve because you're scared of dipping into that heavy energy. But it probably wouldn't even be heavy. I feel like whatever issues there are, you can solve them in a lighthearted way, and you can solve them with smiles and laughter and love for each other. And I think it maybe just comes back to that, like, I'm scared of misstepping and losing you. So addressing things feels like scary. I don't want to say something the wrong way and then push you away, but your bond is stronger than that. Your bond is absolutely stronger than that, because at the end of the day, this idea of we are going to be in each other's lives no matter what, that's like in the background of anything you talk about, of anything you do. You're solving problems with that precedent, if that makes sense. I feel like that was a weird sentence, but hopefully you know what I mean. So now I'm going to say goodbye to group number 2's person. And I'm talking to group 2 again. Hello. So we're gonna go into the extended now, where we see how they would react to this whole reading. What specific questions would they ask about you or about the connection? We're going to see what their next move towards you will be, and we're going to look at predictions for the short-term future and the long-term future. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to join me in the extended, it's going to be linked down below. Whether you want to watch just this reading or all the extendeds every month, there will be different links for that on different platforms, and I'll meet you wherever you want to meet me. If you want to leave the reading here, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the Pyrite Cat, as well as the Lucid Dreams Beginner's Tarot and the Wild Muse Oracle, this is going to be your reading. There's a couple things I want to mention before we get into it. The first is that I randomly felt like switching up the mood in here for this group. So I've turned off the main big overhead light, and I turned on like a smaller, warmer light, and I turned on my Lotus, and it's feeling very nice in here. I think it may actually be the first time that I've felt called to change the lighting in the middle of filming a reading. But here we are. I wonder if it's sort of speaking to the feeling of your connection. It does feel a bit more moody, maybe even like sensual compared to the other groups. And I also wondered if I interpret this a bit more literally, For some of you, you could spend time with this person in more quiet, intimate spaces. You could spend time with them at night or in the later hours of the day when it's dark out, or perhaps even in like dimly lit spaces, or this could be something that is happening soon. I will say that right off the bat, this group in particular is giving a feeling of more so being like a romantic connection compared to the other ones. I feel like with the other groups, it could kind of go either way. I'm not sure yet, because of course we haven't gotten into the cards, but if you were by chance thinking about someone where like it would make you uncomfortable to hear romantic messages when you're thinking about them, then I wonder if this is maybe not your group, but we'll get into it. The other thing I wanted to mention is that when I was getting out these decks to use them, this card from a different deck was mixed into here, and I just saw 222, and the card that was mixed in was the Gambler, loss and risks. So this connection, there may be some elements of risk taking, like maybe you are taking a risk to get closer to this person, or kind of making a risky move towards them, or maybe they feel like they're taking a risk to get closer to you. Now I'm hearing risk it for a biscuit. That could be significant for someone. But anyway, let's get into the reading. So this is the full breakdown of today's reading. Of course, there's the reading here on YouTube as well as an extended. And in the YouTube reading, I am going to be doing the reading as if I'm talking to your person. So like I mentioned in the intro, when you are listening to this reading, I want you to sort of put yourself in the shoes of your person. Pretend that you are them. I am doing this reading for them, and it's about you. So I'm going to be talking about you, about the main energies of this connection, your dynamic and your feelings for each other, and I'm going to be giving them some advice for how they can move forward in this connection with you. Then in the extended reading, we're going to go back to talking to you, and we are going to see how would your person react to this whole reading. What specific questions would they ask about you or about the connection? We are going to see what their next move towards you will be, and we're going to get predictions for both the short term and the long term future. We will get some hints about when this short-term future and long-term future are, but if you do have a specific time frame that you want to know about, feel free to set the intention to hear about that specific time frame. I'll leave that up to you. And the extended is available as either a one-time purchase, so just this reading, or a monthly membership, which gives you access to all of the extendeds every month. If you are considering a membership option, I just ask that you carefully read the description of the different membership levels so you know exactly what you're getting. But I'm really grateful to everyone who considers that option, and I'm very, very grateful to everyone who is here watching this right now. Thank you so much for being here, and without further ado, let's get into it. So I am no longer addressing Group 3. I am addressing your person. Take this moment to become them, and let's get into it. Hi, Group 3's person. Let's start your reading. So we are going to pull a tarot card to represent you. I'm hearing this message about you. Okay, I'm seeing the color yellow, and then I'm hearing this message about you feeling anxious in the days leading up to something. I cannot tell if this anxiety is good or bad. It's just nerves. Maybe it's not inherently good or bad. It's just this sense that something big is about to happen. And so perhaps the yellow color that I'm seeing is pertaining to your solar plexus. So it's like you are going to get a gut feeling, like in your physical stomach, the days leading up to something big happening. And for some of you, you might know what this big thing is. For some of you, you might not even know what it is, but you're like, I just feel like something big is about to happen. You may also you might reach out to them randomly or impulsively. I'm hearing really specifically 3 days for some reason. So maybe a certain process is taking 3 days, or you are waiting 3 days to respond to something, or they're responding to you after 3 days. And I'm seeing a phone too, but like not a smartphone, like this kind of phone where you just call someone. So maybe you're gonna call them soon, or they're calling you. You feel torn about something. You're like, should I do it or should I not do it? Maybe that's what this risk thing is. You're debating about whether or not you should say something, whether or not you should come forward in a certain way. Sometimes I pick up on the energy of someone who's debating about when they should come forward or how they should come forward. I feel like you're debating about, should I even do it at all? Should I say this? Should I say something? We have the Temperance card. So you are holding back when it comes to them. You're holding back when it comes to the connection. Not in a way where like you're stifling yourself necessarily. That could be the case for some of you, but it feels like you're trying not to make any rash decisions. I was gonna say you're holding yourself back from doing something impulsive until you just can't hold back anymore. So this is just an example to illustrate the energy, right? But let's say you love someone and you're like, I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell them. And you're holding it in. You're like, let's think about this first. Okay. I don't want to potentially ruin something. I don't want to be too forward. Let's think about this for a while. Let's exhibit some self-restraint. So it's like you're holding back until one day you get drunk and you call the person at 3 a.m. and you're like, I love you. It's like, this is the kind of energy I feel around you, where you're holding back until you're not. So if you're planning to do something in a very poised and calculated way, especially making a move towards them, it is probably not going to happen that way, because I feel like after this trying to hold back and stay cool and collected, your passion is going to take over. And I do get the sense that you have passion towards them. So with that being said, let's pull a card for their energy. I also want to mention, even the way this card came out, it just kind of, it felt like it accidentally fell out. So I think if there's something you want to say to them, there's kind of no point in making this elaborate plan to convey it in the most diplomatic and elegant way possible. Like, it's gonna slip out. I have to tell you, it's gonna slip out. I feel like you might get carried away in some emotion, but that's divinely guided. That's how you're meant to come forward. I feel like they don't want a perfectly polished response from you. They want something raw. They want to get past your polished layer that you show to everyone on the surface. Let's get a card to represent their energy. We have the 8 of Wands. They're either thinking about reaching out to you, or maybe they did reach out to you recently. Okay, yeah, let me just pull one more. We have the Queen of Pentacles in the middle to illustrate the energy between the two of you. So it's clear that you both regard each other very highly. You see each other as, I don't really like this word. I'm thinking of like high value man, high value woman, but I hope you know what I mean. Like you see each other as a very high caliber of person. Maybe this just means like you have very high levels of alignment with each other or compatibility with each other. It could even just be that you have a lot in common. I often see with the Queen of Pentacles this feeling of you deserve the world, you deserve the best that this world has to offer. So that is very likely how you feel about each other and how you view each other. You put each other up very, very high without necessarily putting each other on a pedestal, which is very nice. It's admiration without self-deprecation. You're saying like, oh, you're so amazing and you make me want to get better. Rather than, oh, you're so amazing, I could never. It feels quite healthy, the way you admire each other, the way you look up to each other. And there's a missing piece of the puzzle in this connection. There's something that you're waiting, that you're both waiting, okay, and I feel like some tension building up. You're both waiting for this missing piece of the puzzle to manifest physically. So maybe this is like a certain encounter that you're both like waiting to happen, or a certain final outcome that you're both waiting for. You want something to manifest in the physical plane because it exists so strongly and so certainly on the mental plane, on the emotional plane, and on the spiritual plane. But there's a missing piece in the physical, and you're waiting for that. And I feel this like anticipation building up. I think you're both, I'm hearing the word precious. So they could be precious to you. You could be precious to them. I'm noticing how the Queen of Pentacles is holding the coin in her right. Yeah, that would be her right hand, which feels like you want to provide for each other. You want to give each other the best of the best, the best experiences, the best resources. There's also a feeling of holding each other close, or like your thoughts, your dreams that you have of each other, you hold them close. You hold them in your heart, but maybe don't show them so much outwardly. But yeah, I get the feeling like maybe they reached out to you recently and you're thinking about whether or not to respond, or that's something that's going to happen soon. And I feel like your response is going to be unfiltered, but that's how it should be. They don't need your filtered response. They don't need that. Okay, let's pull some oracle cards. Sag energy could be significant, or Capricorn energy. This is really, really specific, but a Capricorn with Mercury in Sag could be significant, or a Capricorn with a Sag rising. I feel like when you first met, when you first came into each other's lives, you had a bit of a persona going on. And that's not to say that you were being fake, but whatever mask you were wearing was not showing all of you, or it was showing kind of a highly curated version of you. And you may be worried that if you take off this mask, they're going to be disappointed in what's underneath. And I feel them kind of like, oh, honey, I already know what's underneath. Like, the energy doesn't lie. They know who you are underneath the mask. That's why they're drawn to you. I mean, they're drawn to the mask too. It's a beautiful mask, right? Because even the mask is a part of you, but it's not all of you. I'm also picking up something where you feel kind of shy around them, but you kind of like it. Like, they can make you, I guess they can make you blush, or they can make you feel bashful, but you're not mad at it. I also feel there's like a cheeky or flirtatious energy going on here. They have a certain power over you in the sense that they can really enchant you. Okay, from our Oracle deck, we have disconnect. We have emotional baggage. Okay, so that's kind of interesting because this disconnect person is turning their back on the emotional baggage. So there may be something that we're ignoring here. Maybe your persona kind of stems from, and I want to be really clear, when I say you have a persona and a mask, I don't think it's fake. I think it's more like putting one facet of yourself in the forefront and making the rest of you kind of fall back. So it's like you're showing one of your faces, but you actually have many faces. You have many wonderful traits about you. And it could be, this is the side of you that has gotten the most praise and that has gotten the most like positive reinforcement. You have learned through conditioning to put this one face forward. Like, this is what gets me acceptance. This is what people like about me. And then you're worried if I show more sides of myself, if I show the real me, which when I say real, I just mean the whole me, all of me, then they're going to be disappointed. But what I want to say is that I feel like there's a little bit of confirmation bias going on here. So let's say you are a rainbow. So you have like all the colors of the rainbow in you. And maybe early on in your life, the red part of you jumped out a little bit and someone praised the red. So you're like, oh, okay, let me show more red. And then you show more red and people praise the red. And so you show more red and people praise more red. And so you're thinking like, see, people only like the red. And it's like, well, did you show them the other colors? I feel like your research is inconclusive. Where's the rest of it? So there's a bit of fear of showing the rest of you. And maybe looking back, there are past memories you have where you showed your blue side and someone didn't like it. You show your green side and someone ignored you, you know. But there wasn't enough evidence, but you jumped to the conclusion that my red part is the only good part of me, or that's the part I should lead with. And so you went with that persona, if that makes sense. And don't get me wrong, they love your red, but they also love all the other colors. And all the colors are beautiful on their own, but they're the most beautiful when they come together in a rainbow. So I feel like there is a message here about reintegrating parts of yourself. I want to say calling the parts of you home. And they activate, they show up in your life at, what does this mean? They show up in your life at the start of the activation cycle. I guess when you're ready to reintegrate the different parts of yourself, your spiritual teams like send them in, I guess, and they help to trigger that activation. They help to activate the era of reintegration for you. And so if you feel not ready for that, you might disconnect from them. But there's this passion in you, and I feel like the passion longs for them, but there's also, it's this longing from your soul, like, I want to be whole, I want to be whole. I'm seeing in my mind's eye a moon that's almost full. Regardless of when you're watching this, like full moons happen every month. So like we were talking about like the few days leading up to something, the few days leading up to a full moon. Whenever you're watching this, could be significant. I definitely feel like when you are in each other's presence, even just being in the same space, being in the same room, like when your auras are overlapping, it heightens your emotions. Something about, I'm going to start saying woo-woo things. Like your emotional bodies seem to be tuned similarly, so they resonate together. Oh, we have two coming out at the same time. Oh my gosh. So the two cards that came out at the same time are 22 and 33. That's pretty cool. I'm thinking of the High Priestess and the Empress because those are cards number 2 and 3. Both of those are strong representations of divine feminine energy. Best case scenario. And every step counts. This feels like moving toward a big goal. I'm hearing manifesting your plan A goal. So, you know, we might sometimes set really big goals for ourselves, what we would ideally want. And then we say to ourselves, well, if that doesn't work, then at least I hope I can manifest this. And that's like our plan B. I feel like with these two cards, you are manifesting your plan A goal with regards to them. So you are getting, why is this making me excited? I guess I'm just excited for you. You are getting the exact outcome that you want with them. I'm hearing like roll out the red carpet, I guess because I'm looking at these red stairs and it's making me think of a red carpet. I think your spiritual teams are very pleased about this. And it's not, I mean, your spiritual teams might ship you a little bit, but it's not like they're like, oh my gosh, we want you to be together so much. And like, that's the whole point. I think they're very excited because you manifesting your plan A outcome is a sign of you claiming your desires and committing to the creative vision of your soul. And that's what really matters at the end of the day. So that's awesome. I love that for you. And I also want to mention the transition that I see here. So we've gone from mostly black and white color schemes to very vivid colors in these cards. So it feels like something exciting is happening. It feels like there's a transition in your life from a more dull, bleak, uninspiring, or uneventful period to one that is full of passion and inspiration and excitement. Regardless of what happens with them, I feel like your life is about to get really exciting and really fun. And that's what your spiritual team is really happy about. Not only are you manifesting your plan A dream, but each and every day you have been, okay, I just heard 5 to 8 years. I'm getting like really specific random messages for this group. Every day you have been making baby steps towards this goal. You might feel like you've paused or like you're going backwards or like you're lost, but your spiritual team is assuring you that every day you have been making steps towards this goal, and every step counts. Slow motion is better than no motion. Okay. Let's look at the bottom of the deck now. This is going to represent your feelings for each other. Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so you've had these feelings for some time. Yeah. I would bet that you've known each other, been in each other's lives, or known of each other for a very long time. If you've just recently met them, it probably feels like you've known them for a long time. I just see the Knight of Pentacles indicating something that's been long-standing and pretty consistent. I don't really think your feelings for them have changed. And oh, that's a sweet message. Okay, let me just finish the first one. I don't think your feelings for them have changed, and I don't think they will anytime soon. I also think that their feelings for you haven't changed and won't anytime soon. They seem very consistent, just like some coals that keep burning and they just like stay orange and warm and they never go out. That's how I feel it. But the sweet message that was coming through is, and I think this is their energy, that they are concerned about what their first impression was to you. Maybe they feel like they left a bad first impression. And so they're thinking, oh, but I hope that they'll get to know me and then they'll like see me for who I really am and then they'll like me. But I feel like the way you're seeing it, the more you get to know them, your first impression is just proven to you even more, but that's why you like them. So I'll give an example. Let's say when you first met them, they were talking a lot. They were just like being a chatterbox, or they were being loud or something. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I was talking too much. I was being too loud. I left a bad first impression. So next time I see them, I'm going to be more chill. And then I hope they'll start to think I'm a chill person. And you're like, well, when I first met you, I thought you were loud. And then when I got to know you more, I realized, yes, you are. You are a kind of loud and chatty person. And that's what I actually really like about you. So why do you think that's a bad first impression? Are we talking about the same person? Because I think you were a delight. I think you probably had a great first impression of them and they're just kind of worrying or over analyzing, but it seems really clear that your feelings for each other will not change. I'm hesitant about saying your feelings for each other will get stronger because I feel like they're already strong. Probably would be kind of like troublesome if they got even stronger, if I'm being honest. So let's just maintain them, you know? Okay. We have the 10th house, we have the North Node, and we have Sagittarius. Someone could have, I don't know why I said it like that. Interesting. I was talking about the possibility of one of you being a Sag rising. It could be that one of you is a Sag midheaven, in which case you could be a Pisces rising. One of you could have North Node in Sag or South Node in Sag, or North Node in the 10th house. North Node in the 10th house. This feels very like dreaming bigger and going bigger when it comes to your professional aspirations. There's this duality, maybe, if that's the right word, between I'm feeling really comfortable. I think I can just kind of coast from now on. There's like two wolves, okay? That's one wolf. I'm comfortable with how things are right now. Let me just maintain my current lifestyle. And then there's this other wolf that's like, dream bigger. Go for the next big milestone. Soar higher. Achieve more. And, you know, it's not like one is right and one is wrong. But I feel like those two wolves are perpetually existing. And what does this have to do with your connection? Do you bring out certain wolves out of each other? But which one is it? Well, you'll know what they bring out of you. Do they bring out the side that makes you want to achieve more? Or do they bring out the side that makes you comfortable with where you're at? I think they bring out the side that makes you want it. They bring out the side of you that makes you want to achieve more. You bring out a side of them that makes them comfortable with where they're at. Because I feel like they may be kind of stuck in a perpetual, like, I need to do more, I need to achieve more, I need to go higher, almost to the point that it becomes a pressure. It may be rooted in a little bit of what I've done until now is not enough. So it's not like you make them want to stop growing, but you make them realize, I have done enough, I am enough. Even if I never achieved anything else, I would still be worthy. I would still be lovable. I would still be amazing. I'm gonna achieve more, but even if I didn't, that would be okay. I'm happy with who I am right now. You help them to realize that. They help you. It really seems they're helping you to face this hunger and this passion that is inside of you. You want to keep going. You want to achieve more. Do you have a support system that encourages you to achieve more? Because it's like you still want to. You have more ambitions. You have more aspirations. Well, anyway, it seems like they are a big motivator for you in that regard. So in the last part of this reading, we're going to look at some oracle cards for advice for you, how you can proceed in this connection. So the first one is child. Okay, we're talking about emotional baggage that could come from childhood. This plan A dream of yours could in some ways come from childhood as well. This does seem like a message about connecting with your inner child. I also feel like connecting with ancestors or connecting with passed on loved ones, looking to them for guidance. some way of speaking or conversing with loved ones on the other side could be really helpful. And I'm hearing you may feel silly doing that. For example, you know, I have a cat. This is her. This is my Baffy. She's on the other side, but I talk to her. I sing little songs for her. And I don't feel silly doing that because I don't know. I talk to myself anyway, so I might as well talk to my cat or, you know, talk to my grandparents on the other side. But maybe you feel a little bit awkward doing that. Maybe you can write something to them or ask them to come through in a dream. Of course, the first step of that is believing that they're really there, but I think they could give you a lot of insights into how wonderful you are and help you sort of recover some of those colors that you haven't let show in a while. We have feeling, child, feeling, disconnect. Maybe there's some feelings that you cut off from at kind of a young age that you're reclaiming. I also noticed that this little angel looking being is singing. That could be significant. Singing or vocalizing seems to be important for your healing or for getting your feelings out. So I'm going to just try to roughly translate this as I go. It says, are you overthinking? Are you too much in your head? Stop picking things apart and try to grasp what is really important through your feeling. Yeah. Your feelings, your intuition will give you the answer, not picking things apart. And then you got 2 from this oracle deck. 2 fell out together. Awareness. You've been disconnected from your feelings and now you are regaining awareness. Maybe you're even becoming aware of this baggage you've been carrying. It's like that analogy of carrying a heavy backpack, and it's been on your back for so long that A, you maybe forgot it was there, and B, you're used to the weight of it now. So when you take it off, you're going to feel like you can fly. You're going to feel so light. And then when you get used to that lightness again, you'll probably feel like, holy crap, I can't believe I was carrying all that heavy baggage around with me. It's time for you to feel light. Aw, and we have friendship. Yeah, there's something about a support system. I feel like I really hope you have a good support system, Group 3's person. I hope you do. I really hope you do. And I think that they can be an excellent support system for you. Well, no, one person is not a system. What I wanted to say is that while I do think they can be an excellent support for you and an excellent motivator for you, and of course they can be a really good friend to you, like provide you with the friendship you need, you cannot rely on one person for everything. So maybe you need to rely more on your existing support system. And I do feel like for some of you, there are better friends out there. Like there's better companions out there than those who are currently in your life. Of course, that is for you to discern. That may not be for everybody, but I feel like there is a little bit of a concern here with just like how much you connect emotionally to them. That is a beautiful thing, but if they're the only one you can do that with, then that can become a problem. Like you don't want to be dependent on them in that way for everything. I'm not saying that that's happened, but it's a possibility if you don't have like a sturdy support system. Yeah. Okay, so that is the end of me talking to your person. I'm gonna go back to talking to you now, Group 3. And in the extended, I am going to be talking to you. So we're gonna see how your person would react to this whole reading. What specific questions would they ask about you or about the connection? What their next move towards you is going to be. And then we're also going to get predictions for the connection in the short-term future and the long-term future. So the extended is going to be linked down below on various platforms, so you can go to whichever one works best for you. There's options for both the one-time purchase of just this reading and the membership for all extendeds every month. So I'll meet you wherever you want to meet me. If you want to leave the reading here, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch full-length exclusive pick a card readings there. And my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!